Hey everybody, this is Kate, and I am going to do a tutorial on understanding the anatomy of Google Chrome as a search browser. I'm using screencast-o-matic, and this is through my Chromebook. So we are going to start with the logo itself. This is the icon for the Google Chrome. I'm hovering over it so you see that little name pop up. And this is my preferred since I use a lot of Google everything. I just find it to be a much more user friendly search engine. So I'm going to click on it, and a window is going to appear. This whole thing is called a window. So when you hear uh, somebody say open a new window, we're talking about this. A new tab, however, is also another feature you could do to open a new website, but it allows you to keep it all here, like a bookmark for that website as you work through. Not to be confused with these bookmarks, sorry. So if you're looking at multiple websites, you can have multiple tabs. I will say that once you get too filled up here, then they get really small. See how they just keep getting smaller and smaller. So sometimes creating a new window can be helpful, and that is something fairly easy to teach. So um, one way you can do it, just to show you since I'm talking about it, is to go to the snowman, the three dots, and open up new window, and that just creates a brand new window for you to use. So I'm going to show just some of the basic symbols here on this page. So you'll notice that every time I open something, either a tab or a new window, I have the Google search website, and I just have this as my home page, which can be changed. It kind of depends on what you want to open up to. Maybe it's ESPN, or maybe it's Google Classroom. But for me, a lot of times I just want to jump right into searching for something, and this just makes it faster. It also gives me a really good, easy access point for all of the Google tools, like the waffle right here up in the corner. That is giving me access to Google Apps, my account information, and email, images, etc. So this can change, but what stays the same is this whole top tab section where you have your menu and your bookmarks. In another video, I explained how to create bookmarks, but these are saved websites. And as you fill this line of the space up, they'll eventually get to a point where there's too many on one across the bar, so it'll become a drop-down menu that you can choose from, and you can change the order of that. I always try to have my favorite sites or the sites I use the most to save me time and energy having to go constantly look for them. This belt is different than these up here. This little tool belt situation, these are your extensions, and that is something specific that you have to add to Google Chrome to enhance your experience. But they usually are represented by the icon of whatever program is being used. So in another video, I talked about Pocket to save websites as well. And this is Bitmoji. I try to use it a lot. You'll see here I have like a little avatar for myself that is created through Bitmoji. It's also an app, so if you have an account with them, you can set it up so it's, whether you're using it on your browser or on your phone to add to your text messages, you can do that. Also to know, the new tab, if you want to close a tab, just press X. Usually X just means close. Same thing over here on the top. This would close the window. This would close the tab. And you can see a tab because it's at the edge of the tab. Same thing with this one, so we close it. The plus, this is the new tab. And usually if you hover over something, they'll tell you what it is. So that's another little helpful tip if you want to check what something means. These on the far top right, these are the controls for the window. So if you want to minimize it, either because you're done for the time being, you want to go do another program, maybe you're doing PowerPoint, for instance, You can minimize it but not close it, so you can come back to it later. This, when I minimized it, took me back to my original page where I was showing you all the tabs I was creating. And let's say you want to have this kind of open, but you're still working on or looking for something behind it. This middle one allows you to change the size of your window. So this is its default. But if you hover your mouse at the corner or on the edge of the window, you'll see that you can access this little like double-ended arrow, and that will allow you to drag smaller or larger the window. So that's a nice control to have. But let's say you are, let's see, we'll close some of these. Oh, let's say you realize, oh no, I need to go back to my other one. Down here, as you create more windows, if you hover over and click on the Google Chrome icon, and again, this is on a Chromebook, you'll see the different windows. So I don't really have anything tying them specifically. So let's say I'm closing these down, and I have this set to YouTube. See how it's now titled YouTube down here? When I click on the Google Chrome icon, the YouTube tab, so I'm going to go to the other one. And then let's say this has say hi. So now you can see, and then in parentheses, that tells you how many tabs are open. All right, so that's the tabs here. These are your forward and backwards. So I can, because I've gone to a site, there's now somewhere to go back to, so I can press back, and that takes me back to the previous window I was at. Usually if you've gone through a couple websites or a couple different links, usually there's more that you can back up to. And then let's say, oh no, I want to go forward again. Didn't mean to do that. So just press the forward. And I haven't gone anywhere besides these two, Google search and this, so there's nowhere else to go. This is the refresh. Sometimes our computers slow down, or they freeze in some way, or maybe you're waiting for updated information on a news site. And so refreshing just makes sure that it's as up to date and current as you can get it. And the star, this is your URL search box. So it'll tell you about the website, and it'll tell you the link, but also you can type in, highlight, delete that, and then type in I'll do Castify. Screencast. Screencast-o-matic. There we go. I'll just do one that I've ever searched for. So it also is a search box. And then let's say I want to make this I clicked on the main link for it, and I want to make sure that's a bookmark, so I'm going to click on the star, and now it's going to show up here in my bookmarks. Oh, it got put into that folder. There it is. So if I want to drag it out, I'm going to hold down and drag it over, hold down with my mouse, and then let it go, and now it's on my tool belt here. If you're looking for the menu, over here on the top, right below the exit out button, there is the menu button. And it kind of looks like a, snowman, but it's 3 dots on top of each other. And you click on that, and it takes you to the menu window, which has a whole bunch of different things you can do with it. So I'm going to wait to do each of those separately. But this is where you can find your settings and your browsing history, downloads, and other commands that if you don't know the shortcuts. So for example, you come here for a new tab. Takes an extra step than just going to the plus sign next to the previous tab, but it's personal preference. Let me see. I think I've covered most of the bare bones of this. So if you're interested in finding out specifics, like for instance with the menu bar uh, and getting into this drop down, I will walk through some of these in more detail in another video. And thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.